Start your journey today by liking, subscribing, and sharing our YouTube channel, KnowledgeWell Media, or by going to our Square site at knowledgewell-media.square.site and perusing over the available content and information. Also by submitting your email at the bottom of the Square site page in the Stay in the Loop section to receive priority information, specials, and other insider details. Or by signing up for a 1-hour consultation to tailor your specific educational needs in beginning your journey. You may do so at the aforementioned Square site, once again at knowledgewell-media.square.site. Here are a few other items in demand on our Square site. The Person Defined series, a 9-part video lecture series, comprehensively outlining the scheme to artfully deceive mankind into trading away his birthright, his natural liberties, and inherent rights. Pre-orders for The Yellow Bricks of Emerald, the first edition, offered presently as an ebook only. This book comprehensively uncovers the legal schemes, past, present, and future, of the elite powers and the U.S., subjecting American citizens to servitude and allegiance due to their own ignorance. The KnowledgeWell Video Lecture Series Trust Course, a comprehensive lecture series educating on the history, effects, and administration of the wealth-preserving, asset-protecting, private commercial entity known as a trust. Plus, we have our very own template and instructions to help you set up yours. And, coming soon, our apparel and product store for all things KnowledgeWell, including shirts, hats, jackets, cups, bumper stickers, and more. For all this and much, much more, as well as for any questions or comments, email to knowledgewell4u@gmail.com or go to our Square site at knowledgewell-media.square.site. And now, you've been made free. What are you going to do with it? We are here. If I told you what I just had to do to make it to this chair, you'd be laughing at me. I'm sure. I'm certain of it. Let me make sure this ain't too loud. Whew. A lot of stuff goes into the background. I'm gonna catch my breath here shortly. I had to run up and down some stairs, kiss the babies goodnight, find my glasses so that I'm not squinting everywhere. I'm still sweating. So please bear with me. Let me know what state you are hailing from. Happy Wednesday. All right, our first Wednesday show. We'll try this out. I figured we got a lot of work to do, so may as well add an additional day of the week here for all of you. All right, so everybody can hear. Thank you for that. Glasses are fogging up. Let us know what state you are listening from. This is going to be a very controversial and thought-provoking show. We are going to cover, we're going to cover a topic that I'm actually shocked that nobody has covered this topic before, but it's a very important topic. And again, true to form, we are going to be coming directly from case law. Okay, remember the new way of doing things. They say when you know better, or you do better. And so we're going to do better to deliver a better packaged product to our client or our people that are entrusting us for information and education. I definitely want to allow people time to get on in here. Again, this is going to be a very, very thought-provoking and controversial topic, going to the sovereign citizen argument. Now you're going to hear firsthand how the courts have ruled on this issue. Why are we going here tonight? Because, quite frankly, I'm tired of watching the videos that are making these outlandish claims regarding right to travel, regarding the passport, and I told you what we're going to do here at KnowledgeWell Media. Now, it's up to you what you do with this information. We're going to provide it for you. And now we're going to be coming from the law, right from case law. So it's not going to be my conjecture how I feel about it. This is not a debate. This is not even open for a debate. This is right from the judge, the holding of the 7th Circuit, all right, and what their decision was as far as what we had been claiming erroneously, okay? So we're going to straighten all this out. We're going to lay it out. Okay, that's what you can trust that we are going to do here at KnowledgeWell Media going forward. Okay, we're going to dispel all those myths, straighten all this stuff out to keep you and your family from being negatively affected by erroneous applications of conjectural type teachings and ideologies. Okay, grab yourself something to sip on. This is cranberry juice, unsweetened. Woo! Unsweetened. Pucker up. Let somebody else know that we are live right now. Why don't you do them that favor? Anybody that you find yourself debating or arguing with or whatever about these topics, this would be a great one for them not to miss. I don't even know if I'm going to keep this one up. I did everybody a favor by keeping up our Sunday live. It's still up. If you did not watch the last 2 lives that we've done, you're just missing out. You're just missing out. Do your due diligence and check them out. Make sure you always give a thumbs up. That's the least you can do. If you can't support us financially, make sure that you at least give us a thumbs up. I also want to make sure I state before we get going that obviously none of this is for legal advice. Scrolling across the bottom there, that is my disclaimer. All right, if you need legal advice, please seek yourself a competent attorney. Okay, that's not what we are supplying for you here today. This is an educational platform, and it's about informing you. Okay. All right. And all donations, if you appreciate what it is that we do here and you want to show your love and support to keep us doing these things, then it would behoove you to support us. Scrolling across the bottom of the screen, there is our Cash App. It's $ AmericanConsulate. $1. Is that too much to ask for great content? Something. All right. It would be greatly appreciated. All right. And especially since we're off at another, right? I just did two lives, 2 hours apiece, both Saturday and Sunday, I think it was. And now we're back right. I'm working overtime for you. All right. Yeah. So also, our how you can contact us if you need essentially an education or consultation on the topic that we're going to be broaching tonight. This is very important that we get this right. Okay. So if you need a further discussion, you can always reach out to us at KnowledgeWell, the number 4, the letter U, at gmail.com. And then we can have an individualized conversation as to how this topic and others may apply to you specifically, and perhaps even some action steps you can take to mitigate any perceived issues. All right. So that's up to you. I am extending it. If you don't use it, don't blame me. All right. We also have our Square site where you can get products, videos, different cups and thermoses that we have. We have cup holders. We got all kinds of different things with the brand name on it and things. So you can, if you want to show your support in that way by exercising brand loyalty. This is one of our t-shirts right here that we've created. You probably see, you can see it. Okay, so the paradigm shifters. Okay, that's whatever. And then it's got some other sayings on it, but very nice t-shirts. If you would like one, this is the place to go. KnowledgeWell-media.square.site. All right. We appreciate any little and big thing that you do. Also, we have our Patreon for our exclusive members. We are going to obviously have an uptick in our offerings over there. We also are looking, it's Wednesday. I don't think I had anyone inquire about the course that we talked about in the last 2 lives. I'm astounded. If not, we're just going to go forward with our Patreon subscribers. I don't know what else to tell you. I've made the offer. It doesn't make much sense to me that nobody's taking me up on it, but I'll just go forward with my Patreon subscribers if you're not interested. All right. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch the lives Saturday and Sunday and get fully informed. All right. Make sure you shout out the state that you are listening to. We are just about to get going on our way. Let me make sure I got everything else out of the way. All right. Yep. I think I got everything. All right. Let's get to it. Nothing to it but to do it. Welcome again. Happy Wednesday. What is today? The 11th. What do you think about the war in between Palestine and in Israel? What do you think about the eclipse that's said to that's supposed to happen on Saturday? All of these things aligning. All this stuff is coming around the corner here. So hold on tight. Hold on tight. Yes. Well, you go back to my archives. I've called a lot of this stuff out, but later for that, we got something much more important to cover tonight. All right. We're going to be covering the topic, the argument, the theory, the conspiracy theory, as it's stated by the 7th Circuit and their holdings regarding. Oh, thank you for that. Background music is still up, I'm told. Thank you for that. I will go ahead and do this. Now it should be just me talking. So let's get it cracking. All right. So we are going to be covering the 7th Circuit and their decision regarding all the theories surrounding the sovereign citizen ideology. So you are going to get the unadulterated, clear holding. Okay, this is not my conjecture. No longer it's how I feel about it, but you're going to hear exactly what they have to say about it. Okay. All right, hold on. Let me get it going. All right, so I'll do this. All right, so you can see right here that I have Googled the 7th Circuit and their decision as pertains to sovereign citizens. Okay. And we'll just start off like this. Okay. We're going to hit the ground running. All right. So the conspiracy and legal revisionist theories of sovereign citizens are not established law. Now, how many times did I say it over and over again during the last 2 lives? that if it is not found in law, and if you do not have a legal, if it is not found in law, point blank, you do not have a legally protectable interest, and therefore you are failing to state a claim upon which relief may be granted. The courts cannot grant you relief on anything less than, excuse me, a claim that is found in either case law, statute, common law, etc., etc. Excuse me. So not established in law or a law in this court or anywhere in this country's valid legal system. Did you see that? Okay. So we're going to cover that. Here's also another case. Okay. So let's see what they have to say about this. This is the great. Okay. So United U.S. common law grand jury. You heard that before, right? All the so-called state assemblies and whatever that have created their own common law grand juries. Well, versus U.S. Supreme Court. Okay, so let's take a look. In fact, I might just want to go directly here to the Seventh Circuit. Let me see what they have to say. So, oh, this is okay. So this one, obviously, you can see the John Jones Bay, right? So you're talking about probably Moorish sympathizers versus state of Indiana. Okay, this was, look when this was from. 2017, merely 6 years ago. This is a fresh case. Okay, watch this, y'all. You bet. It would behoove you to take notes, or make sure you come back and watch this. So let's go ahead. Before Posner, Flom, and Ripple, circuit judges. Okay, Posner, circuit judge John Jones Bay, who describes himself. Can y'all read this? I can blow it up a little bit more just to make sure. So just see if you find yourself in here so that you can correct your behaviors, okay? That's the whole point. That's the whole point, okay? Okay, who describes himself as an Aboriginal Indigenous Moorish American. There you go. Filed in the district court what he labeled a writ of mandamus, seeking to enjoin state and county officials from taxing real estate that he owns in Marion County, Indiana. He also asked that the defendant officials be ordered to refund the taxes that he'd paid and to compensate him for their alleged wrongs. He asked the district court to award him $11.5 billion. The court refused and granted the defendants. Hold on, my bad. Hold on. I'm saying it's always when you're live. That's what happens. And granted the defendant's motion to dismiss, precipitating this appeal. Okay. Bay says he's a sovereign citizen and therefore can't lawfully be taxed by Indiana or its subdivisions in the absence of a contract between them and him. Okay, see LV AmeriCredit Financial Services, blah, 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 Seventh Circuit, for a description of the beliefs of so-called sovereign citizens of alleged Moorish origin. We have repeatedly, listen, we have repeatedly rejected such claims. Repeatedly. Look at all these cases. Seventh Circuit. Look, the Seventh Circuit has led against the theories, the sovereign citizen theory. They have led. Look at how many times they've ruled the same way against the theories pertaining to a sovereign citizen. And it's not, it doesn't matter whether you call yourself one. They're looking at the ideology to see if you are following after the same ideology. You're going to see what that all encompasses here. Okay. So the Seventh Circuit, I believe that's actually over here where I'm at in the Midwest. But we want to take this opportunity to examine the rights asserted, okay, in this as in the other cases we've cited, by persons describing themselves as sovereign citizens by virtue of their alleged Moorish origin. Most of them are African Americans who belong to the Moorish Science Temple of America and claim to be descendants of the Moors of North Africa, though they are not. Can you imagine? Here you made a claim of who you are. You have the right of self-determination, don't you? These judges told them, quite frankly, you're not descendants of them. We are not going to recognize that, they're saying. Not here in the United States. That's pretty bold. We got to find out why that is. Look, Moors are of mixed Berber and Arab descent rather than being African American in the usual sense of being descended from Black Africans. In other words, the system has already defined who Moors are. And so anybody else making a claim that does not fit within the definition or designation as defined by the United States and the American jurisprudence has no legally protectable interest. That is not your status, and that is not your standing. Not from the perspective of the United States and its American jurisprudence. That's what they're telling. Look, the original purpose of MSTA, the Moorish Science Temple, founded in 1920s by Noble Drew Ali, whose followers call themselves Moors in place of more conventional designations such as Black, African American, and colored, was to claim government recognition and respect as full citizens rather than the second-class descendants of slaves. Okay, Leah Nelson, Sovereigns in Black, Intelligence Report, Southern Poverty Law Center. Okay, going forward, the MSTA Home Office, located in Washington, D.C., has issued a statement clarifying that the organization is neither a sovereign citizen movement nor a tax protester movement, and that it was not founded, quote, for its members to become anarchists or conspiracy theorists, unquote. You're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place if you're calling yourself a Moor, because not only is the institution itself saying that that is not, what they're saying is not what we are and what we do, and the United States is not recognizing your status as a Moor. You're between a rock and a hard place, meaning you ain't got nothing coming. I'm just saying. I'm not saying, they're saying. Look, Moorish Science Temple of America. Okay, blah, 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 moving forward. But clearly, sovereign citizen ideas appeal to many self-described Moors. See, they're self-described, not recognized in law. Okay, I want you to catch that. Who combine those ideas with Ali's teachings in an effort to reclaim and rewrite Black history. For example, the Moors Order of the Round Table uses 18th century treaties with Morocco to distinguish free Moors from Africans who could be enslaved, and teaches that courts have no jurisdiction over Moors. All right. Other groups claim that their Moorish nationality gives them the status in the United States of an indigenous people, although the logic behind this claim is deeply obscure. Renita Bay teaches that Europeans are latecomers and Moors never granted them citizenship. She teaches her followers that they are Moors from Mu, who traveled to North America before Africans did, when the world had only one continent. Many sovereign citizen organizations teach that whenever a Moor's name is spelled in capital letters in a government document, The name identifies not the individual, but instead his corporate shell identity. That ain't working. It's not identified in law. Or, in other words, a straw man controlled by the government. All right? Although the Moorish Science Temple does not buy the sovereign citizen line, many of its members do. Many of them argue without any basis in fact, that as a result of the 18th century treaties, the United States has no jurisdiction over its Moorish inhabitants, who are therefore under no obligation to pay taxes. What is going on here? This thing going crazy. That is Bay's position, but he does not explain how it entitles him to an $11.5 billion refund from the state of Indiana and or its subdivisions. Nor is there any basis for his contention that he is not required to pay any taxes because being a Moor makes him a sovereign citizen. He may be a Moor, but we emphasize, in the hope of staving off future such frivolous litigation. This is why they're going to the extent that they're even going to here, is because we're going to entertain this to help stave off and to correct anybody else that might try to come and bring similar type frivolous litigation. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? He is not a sovereign citizen. He is a U.S. citizen, and therefore, unlike foreign diplomats, has no immunity from U.S. law. Let me just repeat that. These judges are the ones that are taking over, as it were, and making the declaration contrary to his self-determination as a Moor. They're telling him what he is. How are they able to do that? He is a U.S. citizen, and therefore, unlike foreign diplomats, has no immunity from U.S. law. Indeed, his suit is frivolous and was therefore properly dismissed. Listen. He was lucky to be spared sanctions for filing such a suit. You ever heard a judge say that? Man, you lucky that I'm not going to sanction you for filing such a frivolous lawsuit. Careful, y'all. Although we have discussed the Moorish Science Temple of America or whatever at some length, our aim was to introduce readers who may not be familiar with the sovereign citizen movement to its principal institutional establishment. We do not mean to task the district judges of this circuit with having to delve into the history of every particular organization involved in every case before them. Often the organization either played no significant role in the events leading up to the case, or if it did, nevertheless, it was an organization already well known to the court. The usual feature of this case is that the sovereign citizen movement and its institutions, such as the Moorish Science Temple of America, are at once sources of difficult litigation and not well known outside the sovereign citizen movement. So they affirmed the district court's decision. Now, let's go back. That was the Seventh Circuit regarding Bay. I wanted to look at this one here, I think. Give me one moment. Yeah, United U.S. common law grand jury versus
the U.S. Supreme Court. So that was one case that I shared with you a moment ago. Okay. I want to share this one here, United States District Court, District of Nevada. Similar case. So the plaintiff, see, this case text does this to me. When you highlight, it's going to do that. And that gets annoying. I might, plaintiff United States common law grand jury. So this is the plaintiff, they're bringing an action. It's one of those probably state assemblies or whatever who have put together their own grand jury and thinking that they're going to usurp, or illegitimize the standing government within a state or whatever. Okay, so let's take a look. So they filed a complaint on August 26, 2019, but it was not accompanied by either the $400 filing fee or an application to proceed in forma pauperis. In addition, the complaint is brought under the heading of United States District Court for the Northern District of New York in Albany, New York, but was filed in the District of Nevada in Reno, Nevada. The complaint names the United States Supreme Court in care of Chief Justice John G. Roberts, Jr., the United States Court of Appeals in New York in care of Chief Judge Robert Katzman, the federal judiciary, and the United States Senate and House of Representatives. The complaint states that it is brought under the jurisdiction natural law. I told you that ain't gonna work. By United States grand jury as a sovereign. It discusses the unalienable right of self-rule, among other things. Preliminarily, the court notes that plaintiff's filings contain multiple indicia of its adherence to the sovereign citizen anti-government movement. Killed them right off the bat. Done. Indicia meaning marks or names, a name or distinguishing characteristic, a mark. The mark of the beast is an indicia of the beast, that indicia. So they're saying that the filings contain marks of its adherence to the sovereign citizen anti-government movement. As one court described it, though the precise contours of their philosophy differ among the various groups, meaning there's inconsistencies even within the group that practices the ideology of the sovereign citizen, almost all anti-government movements adhere to a theory of a quote unquote sovereign citizen. Essentially, they believe that our nation is made up of two types of people: those who are sovereign citizens by virtue of Article 4 of the Constitution, and those who are corporate or 14th Amendment citizens by virtue of the ratifications of the 14th Amendment. We got a problem, Houston. The arguments put forth by these groups are generally incoherent legally, and vary greatly among different groups and different speakers within those groups. They all rely on snippets of 19th century court opinions taken out of context, definitions from obsolete legal dictionaries and treaties, and misplaced interpretations of original intent. One of the more cogent, in the sense that it is readily followed, arguments is that there were no United States citizens prior to the ratification of the 14th Amendment. Well, we know that ain't true, because when in 1857, which is 11 years before the 14th Amendment, Dred Scott tried to claim that he was a United States citizen, and they said you're not. And they defined Justice Taney, who came up with the decision, clearly defined who the United States citizens are or who the people of the United States are. So that's I can call this one out. That's easy. All Americans were merely citizens of their own state and owed no allegiance to the federal government. As a result of that amendment, however, Congress created a new type of citizen, one who now enjoyed privileges conferred by the federal government and in turn answered to that government. One of the ramifications of this belief is the dependent belief that unless one specifically renounces his federal citizenship, he is not the type of citizen originally contemplated by the Constitution. And in their view, the Constitution requires all federal office holders to be the original or sovereign type of citizen, a state citizen rather than a United States citizen. You hear that? All the people arguing state citizenship, they got you too. As a result, all federal officers are holding office illegally, and their laws and rules are thus constitutionally suspect. Moving on. Let me look at the comment section here. I know y'all talking. Hold on. Holy cow. All right. So Bishop McBones in the house. Thank you for being here. Welcome. KnowledgeWell Media. What's up, brother? There's a lot of paradigm changes going on. Abso-freaking-lutely. One cannot be a sovereign and a citizen at the same time. That's a misconception, a myth. Billy is here as well. Thank you for being here, Billy. Billy says, I'm actually putting some of this into practice, but if you think that you won't be detained for a while, you're mistaking. Okay. I'm a child of God and also a babyized child of Christ. It's rough, dude. Okay. I'm actually getting to the point that I might do something that y'all only dream about. Okay. However, I will be in the correct position. Okay. You can play your court games indefinitely. I will not. All right. Good evening and thank you guys. So long. All right. Very good. Chris says, I see you. Thank you, Chris, for being here. Monumental information. I know. We got to do something about this, right? Abdallah722, welcome back. Long time no see. Greetings to you as well. And thank you for the 777s. All right. You know what I like. All right. Let's keep going. Other courts have described a similar theory based on the belief that passing the 14th Amendment led to fictitious entities. Supposedly, prior to the passage of the 14th Amendment, there were no U.S. citizens. Instead, people were citizens only of their individual states. Even after the passage of the 14th Amendment, U.S. citizenship remains optional. The federal government, however, has tricked the populace into becoming U.S. citizens by entering into contracts embodied in such documents as birth certificates and Social Security cards. With these contracts, an individual unwittingly creates a fictitious entity, i.e., the U.S. citizen, that represents but is separate from the real person. Through these contracts, individuals also unknowingly pledge themselves and their property through their newly created fictitious entities as security for the national debt in exchange for the benefits of citizenship. Now, what I will say, everyone and everybody, is that just because they are restating, okay, the beliefs, okay, what they're doing is they're sharing all of the thoughts, the ideologies within what they're dubbing the sovereign citizen ideology, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that everything is wrong. That's not their point. They're just putting it out there, right? And to basically show that they're doing adequate analysis, Okay, it doesn't mean that everything in here is necessarily wrong. Are you feeling me? But okay, let's keep going. I can demonstrate for you, because this right here, this piece right here, I can demonstrate that. So all of that's not wrong. You know what I teach over here, and I teach it with the facts. I go right to the Social Security website and show it with facts. So again, don't think that they're able to discredit all of it. They're just doing their analysis on it and disclosing what all the different beliefs on where they put underneath the title of sovereign citizen. Okay. I'll come back to that later. All right. The attempt to divide oneself into two separate entities is a legal fiction and has been struck down consistently in courts and around the country. Okay. So here's some case law here. Okay. Now, what I'll say to this, okay, playing devil's advocate, is that clearly all officers in a state, all politicians, even professionals, attorneys, they all have separate capacities in which they act in. Okay. Now, you got to pay attention to things like two separate entities. Entity is just a thing in existence. That's all that means. An entity is just a thing in existence. So, but what I do know for certain and for sure, okay, is, and I can take you to case law that tells you that there are at least two separate capacities in which you can act. You can act in an individual capacity, and you can act in a official or representative capacity. Okay, so are you feeling me? You picking up what I'm putting down? Okay, so don't take this as gospel that they're discrediting it. They're just, so it says is a legal fiction. Okay, it's a legal fiction. They use legal fictions all the time in law. Okay, if you even look up the definition of what a legal fiction is, or a fiction in the Black's Law Dictionary, they're going to tell you that it's a construct. Okay, that in fact, let me show you this real quick. Wait. Let me see. Just to drive the point home, where's my Black's Law at? Where are you? I was just going to try and drive the point home. It's around here somewhere. Well, let's keep going. I'll pull it up. I'll figure it out. Unless maybe here. Wait. Let's see. Legal definition. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up for you real quick. Here's what a legal fiction is, and they recognize this. So a lot of times you might find that these judges, a lot of them may not even know everything. Just got to put that out there. But what's a legal fiction? Here's the Legal Institute, just I think Cornell Law. A legal fiction is an assumption and an acceptance of something as fact by a court. How are they able to do that? By the court. What is the job of the court? To interpret the intent of the legislature, the laws, the codification, the enactments. They interpret it, right? And then they apply the law over the facts as established. They're the fact finders. And so they are able, the court's job, they're able to, as it says right here, they're able to employ and use legal fictions, okay? That, because remember, the judge, the jury, they weren't actually present when the crime was committed. So how can they make a decision about something that they weren't able to witness themselves firsthand? Huh? So what they are empowered to do by the law is to create what are called legal fictions. Okay? It's kind of the same thing that that the crime scene investigators are empowered to do. Now, you ever watch like CSI Miami? None of them were actually present when the crime occurred, but they are empowered. It is their job to recreate the scene using legal fictions. In other words, they weren't there when the gun was fired, right? But they used trajectory and ballistics, and they reimagine that, well, if the bullet was, stuck in the wood at this trajectory, then the shooter must have been standing right here. Well, that's a legal fiction because they didn't see it themselves. They never had firsthand witness. So how are you going to competently say that? That's what the courts are able to do. They can create legal fictions, which are an assumption. They're just assuming, but they're able to accept it, okay? Accept it as fact by the court. They are empowered to do that. Although, look, it may not be true. They acknowledge that it might not even be true, but they're going to accept it as fact. So that's what a legal fiction is. Look, why? To allow a rule to operate or be applied in a manner that differs from its original purpose while leaving the letter of the law unchanged. They got to be able to apply some rule to the murder case. The law, the civil law, the statutes, what have you, are already written. Anyone that fits under this heading as a murderer, okay, if you did this and this and this, that makes you a murderer. So the law can now be applied to you. Once you are found within the facts of what constitutes a murderer in the law, once that happens, you're a murderer. Okay, that's how it is. So they create legal fictions for that purpose. Now let's go. So now that you got that, okay. They said the attempt to divide oneself into two separate entities. Oh, let me pull it back up. My bad. Where are you? Come back. Here it comes. Here we are. The attempt to divide oneself into two separate entities is a legal fiction and has been struck down consistently in courts and around the country. Plaintiff's filing makes it evident that it adheres to the same type of sovereign citizen theories that have been flatly rejected by this nation's courts. Let me just say something else real quick. If you are in a criminal matter, now I'm speaking this from firsthand testimony. Please hit the thumbs up button. It does not appear that many people are hitting that thumbs up button. Could you take a moment right now to do that? Goodness gracious. Can you take a minute to hit that thumbs up button, please? He not nice. Welcome back. Haven't heard from you in a while. Thank you for being here. What's the thumbs up looking like, y'all? Baby Productions in the house. What's the thumbs up looking like? How many thumbs we got up? Don't forget to catch us on Sundays. We're still going to keep our Sundays. We're just going to try and add this extra day in. Lots of stuff going on. We want to stay on top of it. I'm going to start probably doing a little bit on the news too, as the wars and stuff like that start to pick up. We'll try to cover some of those things. L Don Crypto, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. All right, how are the thumbs up looking as far as the YouTube? Everybody hit? Take a moment to do that for me. Appreciate it. Even if you're watching this on replay. All right, so, all right, 11 watching. Okay, and thumbs up. Thank you. He not nice. Thank you very much. All right, let's do it. Let's keep going. I just wanted to say that during a criminal matter, okay, I myself made the mistake of trying to argue the separate entity, make that argument. Well, the judge was nice enough to tell me, thank you, Abdallah, 722, thank you very much. The judge, I think he was doing me a favor. I think he was doing me a solid. I said, so you're telling me that the law doesn't recognize the individual capacity from the representative capacity as distinct and separate. You're telling me the law that he said, not in criminal law. He said, you're arguing, quote unquote, an alternative law. In other words, he was telling me you're in the wrong venue trying to make that argument. In criminal law, you can't separate yourself. You can't divide yourself into two separate entities. You're being held liable, right? And the prosecutor has to prove as to whether you committed a crime. Under the criminal statutes and codes, there is no allowance for you to make a civil argument. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? If you are, that's a big help for you right there. Remember, there's different types of law too that you have to consider. Civil, is it a civil matter or a criminal matter? You got to make that distinction. Otherwise, you'll be in an improper venue. Okay? You don't want to do that. I've done it. Speaking from experience. Moving on. Let's move on. Plaintiff's filing. Are we up? Okay. Here we go. Plaintiff's filing makes it evident that it adheres to the same type of sovereign citizen theories that have been flatly rejected. Okay. This court, like others across the country, concludes that, quote, unquote, sovereign citizens, like all citizens of the United States, are subject to the laws of the jurisdiction in which they reside. Paul versus New York. Okay. Quote, the conspiracy and legal, okay, we read this one already. Let's move forward. Regardless of an individual's claimed status of descent, listen, excuse me, but it as a sovereign citizen, a secured party creditor, or a flesh and blood human being, that person is not beyond the jurisdiction of the courts. These theories should be listened. I've gotten this before in front of a judge. These theories should be rejected summarily, however they are presented. You know what that means? You know what a summary judgment is? Meaning we're not even going to allow this to go anywhere. This ain't going to trial. As soon as you come in here talking about because of your descent, or you're a sovereign citizen, or even a secured party creditor, or a quote flesh and blood human being, as soon as you come in there, it will be summarily dismissed or rejected. That's what they're saying. And the last time I was in there trying to make similar arguments, the judge quoted right from here. That's why I wanted to cover it tonight. Seventh Circuit. The Seventh Circuit is the standard in this decision that you're looking at and the other ones I showed you. The Seventh Circuit is what all the other courts in the nation are standing upon, to summarily reject any such arguments. The court rejects plaintiff's theories, and because plaintiff did not pay the filing fee or submit an IFP application, dismissal of this action is recommended. So here you see, dismissing the action, look, with prejudice. In other words, you ain't bringing this back. This ain't coming back. With prejudice. That's what happened. Plaintiff may file, pursuant to 28 U.S.C. 636 B1C, specific written objections to this report and recommendations within 14 days of being served with a copy of the report recommendation. Okay? This is what's happening, y'all. That's it, and that is all. Let's see. Is there? Okay, let me look at the comments section. I don't think. Okay, so anybody got anything they want to say? Anybody got anything they want to say? And this just goes on and on. Look at here. Seventh Circuit again. Look. Even going as far as to talk about filing fraudulent, what they're calling fraudulent documents. Where'd it go? You see this? In LV AmeriCredit Financial Service. Okay, I think we covered that one. The plaintiff bought a used pickup truck in 2011 for $28,000, financed the purchase by means of a 6-year installment contract that's specified in interest rates. Let me do this. Of 23.9%, meaning he had pretty bad credit. The dealer who sold him the truck assigned the contract to AmeriCredit, but after making the first installment, the plaintiff sent his new creditor a copy of the installment contract that he had stamped, accepted for value. You know where this is going, everybody? And returned for value for settlement and closure, and told AmeriCredit to collect the balance of the money due it under the contract for the U.S. Treasury. AmeriCredit repossessed the truck, sold it, and billed the plaintiff $11,322.28 to cover the difference between the price at which the truck had been sold and the unpaid balance on the installment contract. The plaintiff responded by suing AmeriCredit and 2 of its officers in federal district court in Illinois for $34 million in compensatory damages and $2.2 billion in punitive damages. Holy. Needless to say, he was proceeding pro se. It's a joke to them. The district judge couldn't make sense of the complaint and dismissed it as being frivolous. Frivolous it is, though not completely unintelligible. It has earmarks of the sovereign citizens movement. As explained by the FBI, sovereign citizens view the U.S. government as bankrupt and without tangible assets. Therefore, the U.S. government is believed to use citizens to back U.S. currency. Sovereign citizens believe the U.S. government operates solely on a credit system using American citizens as collateral. Okay, all right. We get it. We get it. Now let's talk about this, okay? I think you get it. We all get it, right? We all get it? Let's talk about it real quick before we get out of here. Listen to me, y'all. One thing that continued to be stated by the courts in this case, and you can go and read up more. I mean, just look up Seventh Circuit decision, sovereign citizen, and all those are going to come up. But one thing you probably noticed is that there was always a claim that the United States government is something, or the United States government made servants or slaves out of people, or made the people, American citizens, the backing behind this and this and that. That's not okay. Remember, what I teach. I don't teach that the United States government is a corporation. I don't teach that. There's nothing I found that proves that teaches that, or that proves that. Okay, I've taken everybody to the Articles of Confederation. Okay, should we just do that again tonight? Y'all want to do that again real quick? I'll demonstrate. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry to me. I don't understand. You know, so a couple people tried to debate me on it, and I took them right to the source, and they still wanted to act as if they weren't seeing what they were seeing. If you understand how a corporation is created, here, let's just do it. How about that? Let's just do it. If you know how a corporation is created, I mean, it has to make sense to you. Okay? A corporation. So, you know, if I wanted to start, what is a corporation, first of all, right? A corporation. So if this is me, right, and I want to start a corporation, I'm just going to abbreviate a corp, right? Okay. I would get together with, you know, maybe another officer, you know, shareholders would be involved, right? And all we're trying to do is to have many hands work, unionize. You should know where I'm going with this. I think I spelled that right. Unionize. Okay, we'll go with it. All we're trying to do is get these three people to unionize, to act as one. Act as, you know, one. That's all we're trying to do. This is what a corporation is. It's a group of people, just making it simple, a group of people who unionize to act as one body, and that body is an artificial body, meaning it is not sentient. It's an entity, because entity merely means a thing in existence. It does not necessarily conflate to being a sentient, breathing, you know, individual or person, but it is in existence. Now, the many acting or unionizing as one body. Another term legally for body in this from this standpoint is a corpse. That's what a body, a corpse. That's what it is. So the many unionized come together as one to act as one body or corpse. Now, the corpse, since it is now considered separate, I'll just do this. It's separate from the members. That's what these are called, members. It's separate. I need y'all to follow this. Follow this so that y'all get it, so that now the next time somebody's trying to argue what the corporation is and what is not the corporation, you will be able to explain it, because this is what it is, and I can demonstrate this for you in black and white. Give me a moment. The members unionize, and they act as one corpse or one body, right? And so these are the members. If they come together, unionize under one body, that one body is now separate from the members, right? And in fact, the definition of incorporation is what? Let me show you that real quick. The definition of incorporation is what? I believe I've shown that many times. I'll do it again. Uh-oh, hold on. This is too easy. Really, it's too easy. Let's just try this. All right, KBB, you said you disagree and you agree. I mean, I don't know I tell you what do you disagree with? Because I'm about to show everything I'm saying right here. So what does it mean to incorporate? We better do legal definition. That's that qualifier. I need that legal definition of incorporate. Let's see. Here it is right here. So we'll just use the first thing that pops up, which is Investopedia. They do a lot of fact checking and everything. So just simply, we ain't gonna make this complicated. What does it say? What is incorporation? Incorporation is the legal process used to do what? Form a corporate entity or company. So something is going to be formed, like a baby formed in the womb upon conception. Something is formed. Now look, a corporation is the resulting legal entity. Something is born. Something is birthed. Something, after it is formed, you see it right here, then it is birthed. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? All right, let's go back. So with that being said, where am I at? Stop sharing. Okay. With that being said, now you can see how it happened, right? The members, they set out to form a corporation. So what they do, the members come together and unionize, and they create or form a new body. And the body, another term, legal term for body, is a corpse or corporation. It takes on that denotation and connotation because it's not alive. It's not sentient. So it's a dead body. It's a type of body, a corpse. Okay, so now that means, as it stated there, that when you incorporate, you create a separate entity. Okay, now, what good is if you create a new body? Okay, there's the corpse. It's dead. This thing needs its own identity. So how do you identify something? How do you identify a thing? How do you identify a thing? Identity in the legal system, okay, means same as. Identity, the legal definition of identity is same as. Okay? So we need something to identify this new corpse that is created. This corpse, this body that is separate from the members. It's almost like Avatar. Okay? It's almost like playing a video game. That little man or woman or whatever or animal in the video games, you're maneuvering it. It's like fourth dimension, right? You're outside of the video game. You're maneuvering it, though. You can watch the little man walking around on the screen as you maneuver it with the, what are they called? I ain't played video games in so long. Joystick? I don't know. Anyways, so the same thing is going on here. These members control this corpse or corporation, this body. They make the legal decisions for it. So back to this point, it needs an identity. And the way that you identify a thing is by giving it its own, what? Legal name. That thing, that corpse, needs its own legal name so that it can have identity. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? So, if you get this, now, in light of this demonstration, which I I hope you believe me. I mean, I proved it. Incorporation creates a separate legal entity, right? Okay. And then that separate, what good is that separate legal entity without an identity? So you must give it a name so that it can be identified. That's why every corporation, you have to pick a legal name and register it. So there's an entity created and it gets a legal name. Now, let me show you something else very powerful. I hope I have the book with me. I do. It's right there. I'm going to grab it. Watch this. I must show you this. I think I've shown it before, but I must show you this about the legal name. Who can have a legal name is the question. We're gonna answer that. I told you I use these books. This ain't no game. This ain't no joke. Let's show you. This is what I do. Here it is. I told you how to get your hands on this book if you can get it. Story time. Watch this. I'm gonna show you about the legal name. I'll show you they know exactly what they're doing. Okay, this is in response to the court kind of making a mockery of all of the people that have these beliefs. I'm gonna show you. No, it's not all outlandish. It's very much truth and proven. All right, so I'm playing a bit devil's advocate. Okay, let's go to the desk camera here. Give me one moment. All right. What happened? Yep. Okay, we're good. All right, let's go to the desk camera here, and I'll show you the book. You can make a decision if you want to go pick one up or not. I'll focus that up for you. Hold on. Bear with me. Come on now. Bear with me. I don't know how much. Okay. Well, okay, that looks pretty good. All right, so check it out. So here's the cover, just so you know. It's a bona fide source. Aspen casebook series, Leblanc, Warren, Keating, and Mann. Here's the title here. Commercial Transactions, a Systems Approach. If you can find this book, I would strongly recommend it. They are not paying me for sponsorship, but yeah. It's the 5th edition. And Walters Kluwer, very reputable company in the matters of law. All right, so check it out. Let me just straighten this up. Watch this. Watch what they say. The topic is the entity problem. Okay, I'm talking about the legal entity, right? You'll see what I'm talking about here. We play no games. We play no games. So what does it say? Look at the difficulty of determining the correct name. Hopefully you can read this, of a legal entity. Listen, the difficulty of determining the correct name. I put IE, or that is to say legal name, right? We know name of a legal entity, because the legal entity gets a legal name. Makes sense? Makes dollars. Is easily confused with a much more basic question. How about we first find out here, who or what can have a name? That's the question. Who or what can even have a name? Now look, what is that question really asking then? That is, when it comes to the law or in contemplation of the law, who or what will be recognized, listen, as a separate entity capable of being a debtor and therefore capable of being the subject of an Article 9 filing. Well, all you UCC 1 filers, you know what that is, don't you? Yeah. That's a financing statement under the UCC, the Article 9 filing. You know what that is. So, for example, a law school might or might not be an entity as distinguished from the university of which it is a part. In other words, the college might have a law school or something like that in it. Well, it may or may not be, as they say here, an entity distinguished from the university itself. A division of an incorporated business is not a legal entity. Here's the kicker. Unless it is separately incorporated. Let me demonstrate. Make sure it's not going over anybody's head. Let me demonstrate. All they're saying is that if this corporation is not separate from the members, meaning like you ever heard of a sole proprietorship or sole proprietor? In the eyes of the law, just like the word said, in the eyes of the law, a sole proprietor is one and the same with you. You merely need a social security number. And you can go and do business. A lot of times you don't even got to register a sole proprietor with the state. Just go and do business. They're just going to come and tap that social security number that you were born with when it comes time to pay the taxes. Okay? That's what they're saying. But what separates a sole proprietor from an LLC, corporation, S Corp, C Corp? An LLC, C Corp, S Corp corporation takes on a separate identity from its founding members. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? I didn't know I was going to go on this tonight. This should have been, this might have to go for my Patreon subscribers. I might have to pull this down. So take advantage of it now. Ain't nobody teaching like this. We're setting people free here. Make sure you show your appreciation and love. Keep us around. You like this type of teaching. We added a whole nother day now, Wednesdays. How you like that? 7:30 right here, just for y'all. Huh? How you like that? Where old boy at that was getting on my case the other night? You're going to charge for everything? Am I charging for this right now? All right, so check it out. A sole proprietorship, again, is you. You are yourself doing business, and therefore they're going to come and tax you on your social security number. And not only that, but they're going to assess higher taxes upon your social security number as a sole proprietor. Because why? Because you are essentially not really plugged into the system as they want you to be. You don't even have to register a sole proprietorship. You can just start doing business. That's it, because it's considered you. But when you start playing the game the way that they want you to play, aka the correct way, guess what? They'll start to reward you. And so you'll find that the sole proprietor, you fill out your W-2 forms over at work and they're taxing you 37-something% or higher in taxes. Yeah, that's because they want you to play the game and you're not willing to play the game. They want this. And then you'll be taxed lower. That's why corporations pay lower taxes. You're welcome. So anyways, that's why trusts, corporations, et cetera, pay lower taxes, because you are actually playing in commerce the way that they want. Okay. So anyways, that's the whole point here, is that you're creating something that is separate from yourself. Therefore, if it's separate from yourself, then in the eyes of the law, the liability lies here. The liability lies on the entity itself, and the members are insulated or enjoy limited liability. That's what's happening. Huh? Who else teaching you like that? Breaking it down, making it simple. Who else doing that? So anyways, now, if you remember this, if you can hold on to this and remember this, Now let me show you what, when it comes to the United States government, et cetera, why you're having a hard time or being given a hard time by the courts. Because they're making an improper argument and claiming that the United States government is a corporation, and therefore it is the entity that is enslaving you, et cetera, et cetera. That's not the case. That's not the case. People are not separating the oranges from the apples, and you're trying to lump everything in at the same time. And that's not the way it is. For one, you have to know that there are unincorporated associations and private international businesses like the Federal Reserve that's not government, right? You have to know that. So if that's the case, then you got to know that there's other things going on behind the scenes that are separate and apart from the government. I think we all know that there are bigger players than the government, right? The government's an inanimate object. It's like a puppet, right? The representatives and the people, the government derives its just powers from the consent of the governed. So actually, we actually manipulate the government. So that's not the problem. The problem is the people, perhaps, that are put in place to function within the government, but the government is not the problem. And so there are other people, though, however, that are elite, dare I say, the hidden hand, upper echelon, right? Aristocratic families, titles of nobility, et cetera, right? That are influencing, that may corrupt government or government activities. Those are the ones, as we say, private bankers, you can go down the list. Okay. Those are the problems. The Federal Reserve, the banking system, all that kind of stuff. You know what it is. I ain't got to go into too much detail. So let's move forward. Oh, wrong rag. Let's move forward. Let me just demonstrate this, and then we got to get out of here because it is, an hour and 22 minutes. All right. Our first Wednesday, okay? This is how we're cracking it open. We're hitting it hard. We're not playing any games. We're clearing up all the misconceptions and what have you. And now, again, remember, you don't have to swallow the whole elephant tonight, okay? If you can make an hour, take advantage of a personal consultation. And let's see how these things apply to you individually. Everybody's situation may be just a little bit different, okay? So that's why we afford the consultation. So take advantage of it, okay? Take advantage of it. So now, when we're talking about this time period here, now we want to demonstrate the actual players in the game. What is the actual corporation as opposed to the government, as opposed to the people, as opposed to the citizens, et cetera, et cetera? What's really going on here? Okay, so we're going to go back to 1777 all the way through 1788. Okay. And in this period, we have what was dubbed the Articles, I'm going to abbreviate, Articles of Confederation. Okay. Now, everything was fine. Everything was good. You had the 13 colonies, et cetera, right? 13 colonies. Okay. Everything was good, whatever, blase. Everything was good until it wasn't. I'll just say. All right. So what they found was, because you had the 13 colonies, each of the colonies had their own currencies. Each of the colonies kind of did their own thing, and if they were trading with each other, if Illinois was trading with Wisconsin, I know they weren't there back at this time. Okay. Wisconsin didn't join the Union until 1848. Okay. I get it. But this is just for example. Okay. Give me a break. So anyways, let's say Wisconsin and Illinois didn't get along, right? So therefore, all commerce would break down and grind to a halt, right? Because if Illinois says, I'm pissed at you, Wisconsin, so therefore this month we're putting tariffs, trade embargoes, all of that. We don't want your product over here. And in fact, keep your Wisconsinites on your side of the line. We don't even want y'all over here. We're pissed at you. Okay. And so obviously then If Wisconsin has cheese, guess what? The Illinoisans are going to be without cheese for a good month or whatever until we get over our spat. Okay, so long story short, the Federalists, Hamilton and all them, right, said enough is enough. We need commerce to continually flow. We need the sea of commerce to steadily flow and never be interrupted again. And so that's why they formed the Union. And then it leads you into 1789. Okay, 1789, and that's when the new United States Constitution and the United States was born. District of Columbia, that story you know. Okay, that's what happened. They federalized, brought it all together, said we need commerce to flow between the nation states, and never again let it be. Should it be interrupted? Okay, so going back here though, how do we know what is what? United States Constitution and its government. Now, back here, okay, when all this was getting set up, right, everything was getting good, right, they were figuring it out. The Federalist Papers, all that kind of stuff, Jefferson and Hamilton going at it, okay. Back here, when the colonies decided they had this great idea, we're going to unionize, this is that union. Remember, I was showing you with the formation, the members unionized, right? Remember that? The members unionized to form one body or to act under one body. Well, guess what happened here? Yes, the members, being the 13 colonies, these are the members. You're going to see it. The members, the 13 colonies, all came together. They formed a confederacy together. They joined together, all the original 13 colonies, under one body. And then, there's the body. 13 colonies became one body known as a what? Corpse or a corporation. And guess what? They gave that corporation a name. Does anybody know what that name is of their corporation that they formed? Let me show you. I love this stuff. Well, let me show you what it was. Let me show you. I'm going to show you right now. Bear with me. Let me show you what it is. If you know what it is, go ahead and put it in the comment section. If you know what the name of that corpse, when the 13 colonies first came together between 1777 and 1781-88, if you know the name of the corporation, put it in the comment section. I'm going to pull it up right now. It is. This is the true corporation, not the United States government. I'm just, well, I'm proving it to you here. All right. Okay, here it is. I'm going to zoom it in so that you can see it. There we go. And we'll go to share screen. Nobody knows what the name of the corporation was. All right, here it is. Well, now you're going to see. Nope. He not nice said the British colonies. No, the British. Okay, that was, yes, that was the British. When they came over, right, and they set up camp here, yes, those were 13 British colonies or so many British colonies. But they had the brainiac idea to unionize. Once they unionized, they took on a whole new name. Because when they unionized, what did they do? They created a corpse, a brand new body. Here it is right here. Watch this. This is the constitutional, Articles of Confederation, 1781. So yeah, in between my numbers there. Look what it says. Look, let's go down. Let's get it. Whereas, can you read it? The delegates of a bunch of legal fictions. Okay, hold on. My bad. I need to catch up on. Chris P said that's super half off. BB salute. Oh, okay. He Not Nice said item sounds apply to name sounds the same. Okay. People like Trump figured out a way to have no liability. Absolutely. And we know too now, don't we? But isn't all business law? Well, business law, there's contract law, right? Abdallah 722 says, right at Chris, just like he explained the video game using the controller. Big players own nothing but control everything. Precisely. KBB says, and how is criminal law separated from business law when everything operating in commercial is business and trade? Well, no, you said commercial law? No, criminal law separated from business law. Well, criminal law is, when you breach or break or violate a state statute, right? The positive laws of the state that you have aligned and alleged yourself to, you break that, it's like getting kicked out of school, right? Because they gave you all the rules and the laws before you became a member of the school that you joined, right? And if you break them, then they have a right to oust you or kick you out of the school, and that's what they'll do because you broke the school rules. Same thing with they're calling you a citizen because they're saying you have agreed to become a incorporating member into the state. And so the state has its own rules and laws, just like every state has separate rules and laws. Not every state's the same. They're similar, but they're not all the same. All right. So Chris P says, when did the colonies become state? Well, remember, that's just a play. Really, it's just a play on words, right? Because really what they're talking about is the E-state. Mac Bone's pretty good at explaining that. Maybe we'll have them explain that. E-state, right? They just remove the E. Because really what we did is when you go into trust type of scenario, like the public trust, it's basically where you need trustees to administer and manage your affairs for you because you're not able to do it yourself for whatever reason, education, whatever the reason is that you need somebody else to do something for you, which is what politicians do. It's a representative form of government, meaning that you need somebody to do something for you that you can't do for yourself. That's why they recommend that you have legal representation when dealing with legal matters, because they figure that you probably don't know this game, so you need somebody that does. That's representation. So that's a type of trust. Okay, that's why trust rules the United States system. All right, 1776, I believe, 1776, that was the Declaration of Independence. That was, yeah. Okay, so let's keep moving. Oh boy, time is slipping. A bunch of legal fictions. Okay, so let's keep going. Here it is. Whereas the delegates of the United States of America in Congress assembled did on the 5th day of November in the year of our Lord, 1777. How you like them sevens? Give me them 777s all day. That's my number. Yeah, I'd say I was called to do this. 1777, baby. All right. Yes. Thank you. Confirmation. And then the second year of the independence of America, right? Because as Abdallah 722 says, 1776. Thank you. He Not Nice gave me my 777s. Abdallah 722 gave me my 777s. Appreciate that. Feels good. All right, so check it out. America agreed to certain articles of confederation and perpetual union. I told you, the members came together, unionized. When you unionize, you form a separate body. That's incorporation. You incorporate it. Okay, so let's go forward. Here are the 13 colonies. See? State of New Hampshire, Massachusetts Bay, Rhode Island, and Providence, plantations, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and the good old GA. Again, what did they do? Look, they formed a perpetual union. Tell me one of the qualities of a corporation, of an artificial person. Why did the pop quiz? Why did William Blackstone say that they came up with the concepts of artificial persons in the first place? Why did they say? Pop quiz. Let's see if anybody's been paying attention. Thank you, Terry Camp, for my 777s. Feels good. I'm bathing in 777s. That's my number. All right. So anybody remember? I've been teaching on it. Let's see, pop quiz. Here's your hint right here. Not necessarily stockholders. Why did William Blackstone, the great jurist, state was the reason that they even created or started using artificial persons, legal entities, and whatever? I wish I had my chime. All right. I'll see if I can find one of those chimes. To separate the states. Not really. Not really. All right, I'm just going to say, for the sake of time, the reason that Blackstone and others created artificial persons is to provide what he calls a type of legal immortality, aka what you're seeing right here, a perpetual existence. Remember earlier we talked about the courts using and creating legal fictions. Why? So that they can have something to put the law upon, because neither one of them were there to witness the crime. A judge was not there to witness the crime. So he has to have something of substance in order to build upon, in order to interpret or analyze the law. So they're allowed to create legal fictions. So what did the 13 colonies do? They formed a confederation and a perpetual union, un being the operative part of that un, meaning one. The 13 become one. That's how you form a corporation, as demonstrated on the board, when the many form one. And then not only that, but the 13 colonies all formed a union and became one. Now, look, Article 1 of the Articles of Confederation, look at it right here. We ain't even got to argue about where the real corporation is anymore, because I've demonstrated it over and over again, and now I'm proving it again. Look what happened once they formed the body, like Voltron and all the other cartoons of the 90s and 80s. With our powers combined. Who was that? Somebody put it in the comment section. With our powers combined, earth, wind, fire, water. Remember? Let's see if anybody is my age in the comment section here. Where was that from? Pop quiz. Let's see who gets it. We have to give a gift out. All right, he not nice. We owe you a gift. I'll talk to BB Productions and see what we can get you. You're right, Captain Planet. All right, hit me on my email. He not nice. Hit me on my email, the knowledgewell4u@gmail.com. We'll throw you a gift. Thank you for your participation. He got you already, Abdallah. He not nice. I already got you. Okay. Chris P says civil litium mortuus. Now, Okay, let's finish this up because it's getting late. Listen, happy Wednesday. It's our first Wednesday. All right, I appreciate that. We still got to get you some. I said we still gonna send you a gift. Just hit us up at the KnowledgeWell 4, the number 4, the letter U at gmail.com, and we'll get you a gift. All right, so check it out. Listen, y'all. Article 1 of the Articles of Confederation, once they formed, and then remember what I told you. Once the corporation is formed, it must have its own name. If it is considered separate from the members, it has to take on its own name, therefore, to be identified by the law. Well, guess what? The corporation did get identified. The corporation was given its own name or style. And its name, the style of this confederacy is what? Shall be, quote, the United States of America. Where's the corporation? Where's the corporation, everyone? Is the United States government the corporation? No. You can clearly see, and you've seen tonight, that clearly the act of incorporation, where 13 colonies unionized, came together acting as one body, a corpse, and that body was given a new name, its own legal name. And that legal name is the United States of America. And so if you are saying, very good, Abdallah, you got it. All right. Very good. USA Inc. I've heard y'all talk about it. Some people have said it, but all of a sudden we've gone back to arguing that the United States government is a corporation. It is not a corporation. You want to know what it is? Here you go. Here's Article 2. All you got to do is read. Each state retains its sovereignty. Is that true today? Absolutely. Each of the 50 states are individual sovereign nation states. Moving forward. Each state retains its sovereignty, freedom, and independence. And every power, listen, jurisdiction, and right, which is not by this confederation expressly delegated to who? Man, I'm about to shout. Wait, it ain't Sunday. Wait, listen. The proof is in the pudding. The United States was delegated certain powers. What is the United States? That is the government, the seat of the government in District of Columbia. They have made the distinction between the United States of America, which is the corporation, the many acting as one, and it says that those many acting as one, known as the United States of America under its own legal name, its separate legal name, are going to delegate certain powers to whom? The government. My job is all done here. What y'all gonna do with that? Go. Fix the record. Dispel the myths. Tell them at last the truth has been found. That's it. That was too easy. That was too easy. I didn't have to do nothing, really. That was too easy. I've been through 2 articles of the Articles of Confederation, and it clearly tells you and makes the distinction between the corporation and its government. This is no different than McDonald's having franchises in nearly probably all 50 states plus internationally. Different franchises everywhere. But guess what? Do you not know that McDonald's has a headquarter office? Is the headquarter office the corporation, or is it the governing body over all of the franchises? Are you getting it? So the headquarters is not doing anything to you per se. The headquarters is not enslaving you to a commercial being or entity. That's not what's happening. You are merely subjects of the corporate overlay. All the franchises, the 50 franchises, that's what you're a part of. The sea of commerce. That's what you're a part of. That's why the District of Columbia is secluded. It's not even recognized as a state in the nation. That's why the president, the secretary, the foreign agencies, all of that is in Washington, D.C., is in District of Columbia, separate from the rest of the nation, because it's merely the headquarter office. It's where the rulership is at. That's it. All commerce happens on our level down here, baby. And what we've done is, here, let's finish up with this. What we've merely done, thank you for the 777s, he not nice. Abdallah 722 says governing body. That's all it is. That's all it is. Stop saying it's not a corporation. They will never agree to that. I've just demonstrated for you where the corporation is and what its name is. Now you know. And knowing is half the battle. Whose saying was that? Put it in the comment section. Who wants another? Let's give out another gift. Whose saying was that? And now you know. And knowing is half the battle. Who'll get it this time? And knowing is half the battle. Chris P says, I definitely gained more clarity on this live stream tonight. Thank you, KnowledgeWell Media. Oh, you are so welcome. I appreciate your appreciation. All right, so he not nice. Did you get it before? Yeah, you did. You're pretty good. We probably the same age, ain't we? G.I. Joe. Yeah, you're right. G.I. Joe. All right, very good. That's two gifts, two gifts. All right, so hit us up at the KnowledgeWell for you at gmail.com. Let's close off with this. Let you all get going. It's not. Oh my God, it's 9:22. All right, so remember that each of the states retains their sovereignty. Okay, and they delegated to the United States. Okay, to the United States in Congress assembled. Okay, which at this particular juncture or this particular time was the type of legislative body. There actually was no what I want to be correct in my assertion. There was really no three branches of government back here. In Congress assembled acted as the branches that we now have today. Okay, fact find me on that. Do some deeper research into that. I know I'm correct on it. Just go ahead. They acted okay in Congress assembled, but when we formed the United States 1789 and its government and the three branches under the Constitution, the executive, legislative, and the judiciary, okay, now we had the three branches of government, and that power that's delegated, as it states right there, to the United States in Congress assemble became merely the Congress or the legislative branch of the government that we have today. And so basically, all you're going to see that commerce, the plenary powers over commerce were delegated or to the Congress. That's who has it today. They have the exclusive power to regulate commerce and trade today. Okay. Hopefully I made that. Okay. We'll have to cover more on that. But I think we've done enough. I don't want to cram too much. Please go back and watch this over again. All right. And get a deeper understanding and clarity. This is key. What we're doing is we are, again, dispelling the myths here at KnowledgeWell Media. And, oh, I owe you one thing before you go. Stay right there because I did not finish and you need to see this. We were talking about the legal name. I owe you one thing here. This is worth staying. Just watch this. Remember, we were talking about who or what can have a name. Okay. This is the commercial transactions book here for UCC. Okay. So look, that is in contemplation of law, who or what will be recognized as a separate entity, comma, capable of being a debtor and therefore capable of being a subject of an Article 9 filing. Now, why is this important, y'all? Why is this vital and why is this important? Because if the entity that is formed cannot be recognized in law as a separate entity from the forming members or the officers of the company or the corporation, then it cannot have a legal name. It cannot have its own legal name. For instance, when it comes to, again, being a sole proprietorship, you are doing business under your own name. You are not creating a separate entity and it gets its own name because it's separately incorporated, right? You're not. A sole proprietorship is you under the Social Security number that was granted to you upon taking citizenship. The only type of entity, as it's saying here again, the only type of entity that can have its own name is a entity that is recognized as a separate entity, meaning it stands by itself in law, meaning a corporation, an S corp, a C corp, an LLC. All of those are seen in the eyes of the law as being independent of you, the one that formed it. That's how come or why you are able to enjoy what is known as limited liability protection, because they cannot blame you. They have to blame the entity that was formed and chartered by the state in which it was incorporated. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? So lastly, look how powerful this is. Remember, they said that it can have its own legal name as long as it is a separate entity. Look, and because it's a separate entity, it is capable of being a debtor. Listen to me, hear me. Humans were never meant to be debt slaves, not in our current paradigm at least. So they created separate legal entities, gave them their own existence and their own name, and now they are capable of being debtors, not human beings. We've outlawed debtors' prisons and what have you. Are you picking up what I just put down? Let's move forward here and we'll close. The UCC's answer, the Uniform Commercial Code, everybody seems to love it, answer to the entity problem begins with the definition of a debtor. See, the UCC, the International Regulatory UCC, Uniform Commercial Code, is going to define what a debtor is. And I can guarantee you right now that it's not going to say a human being. Debtor in section 9-102A28, a debtor, this is according to the UCC, is a person oh man, seems like they got us as human beings, right? Because we have human persons, we have artificial persons, there's all kinds of different persons. So it seems like they include us as human beings, don't it? Oh, but let's not stop there. Let's take it a step further, because it says person in the UC is defined in the UCC under 1-201B27, formerly 1-20130, to include, this is what it includes in accordance with the UCC. Watch this. An individual. Oh man, it seems like they got us again. A corporation. Well, that's not a human. Watch this. Or any other legal or commercial entity. Are you picking up the wording here? A person in accordance with the UCC includes what? An individual, corporation. Here's the kicker. Or any other legal or commercial entity. So they're saying that individual is a legal or commercial entity here in this context. They're saying that a corporation is a legal or commercial entity. All I need to know is, you as a human, are you a legal or commercial entity? If not, then according to the UCC, you are not a person. In accordance with commercial law, you are not considered a person, not for these intents and purposes. All right? It's tight, but it's right. And if you can prove me wrong, you are more than welcome to come and show me. But not tonight. Daddy's done enough work. It's time to go to sleepy. All right, thank you all for being here. We're going to keep it going like this. You know, again, what we're doing going forward, everything must be backed up by law. You will not come to KnowledgeWell Media and walk away from here confused, misrepresented, lost. Those days are over. Again, if I cannot back it up in law, in case law, what have you, I'm not going to say it. That's the assurance you have here. That's my warranty. And I'm standing by it. 150,000%. All right. You want fluff? Go somewhere else. It's not going to be here. All right. That's what I assure you of here. All right. With that being said, don't forget, if you appreciate this type of information, to show your love and support. You can do that again by going over to our CashApp, AmericanConsulate, $ American Consulate, scrolling across the bottom there at this particular moment in time. Okay. I appreciate every little and big thing that you do. $1, $2. It makes a world of difference. You know, when I'm laying back on my pillow at night, I want to know if I did a good job. What more can a person ask for? All right. One of the ways that you can do that is to show your love through financially supporting this station, what we do here. Okay. To help us keep going. That's all we ask. Make sure also that if you are watching this on if you're watching this on replay, go ahead and just take a moment and hit the thumbs up button, would you? It means a whole lot to me. All right. I appreciate that. Also, don't forget to go over to the Patreon, join us. Towards the end of this week, we will be starting our courses. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch the last 2 lives, and you'll get full details on why it will or may be important to you to join the Patreon, because we are starting our courses after this week. Okay. And you don't want to miss those. You know what we do. All right. But you got to join the Patreon in order to get that exclusivity. All right. Or get those exclusivities. All right. You know the email already, knowledgewell4u@gmail.com. He Not Nice. Make sure that you use that email, hit us up, and we'll get you over a couple of gifts for playing and participating tonight and getting those answers to our quizzes. Really appreciate that. All right. Let me see. Okay. Thank you all for the 777s. KBB says thank you. Good night. 777. He Not Nice. All right. 777. Well, with that being said, we're going to get on out of here. Appreciate you all once again. And now you've been made free. The question is, what are you going to do with it? All right. We'll see you on Sunday, if not before, at somewhere between 10 and 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Okay. Don't miss it. It's only going to get better as we move forward. Okay. Peace. Have a great night.
Start your journey today by liking, subscribing, and sharing our YouTube channel, KnowledgeWell Media, or by going to our Square site at knowledgewell-media.square.site and perusing over the available content and information. Also by submitting your email at the bottom of the Square site page in the Stay in the Loop section to receive priority information, specials, and other insider details. Or by signing up for a 1-hour consultation to tailor your specific educational needs in beginning your journey. You may do so at the aforementioned Square site, once again at knowledgewell-media.square.site.